Had the pleasure of talking with Dimitri, designer, developer, and product owner of the active suspension module on my FPV crawler. He's the guy who came up with putting the gyro on the platform so that your body rolls according to, physics of crawling over rocks or drifting around corners. And so all of the shocks on my crawler are tied to servos running to his gyro system that makes the body bounce and rock and roll. Really realistic. And from an FPV perspective, it's just mesmerizing. Really happy to talk to Dimitri about his product development life cycle, ins and outs of tuning, and what's going on in the world. Enjoy. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Dimitar, is that how I say your name?
Yeah, pretty much. Dimitri. Yeah, that's perfect.
Pleasure. So did you make the SuperScale system?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you. You must be an engineer of some sort.
Not really. I mean, no. I do 3D graphics, architectural visualization. So I'm very used to modeling and that kind of stuff. Like I can make 3D models. That's why it was easy to go into 3D printing. Easy, it was a learning curve, but yeah, making the models was easy. I do have an engineering degree, but I've never practiced engineering. And I had close to zero RC experience before I went into this, or coding for that matter.
How did you learn about the dampening and the software requirements of, the stabilization?
Well, I just started reading, I guess. I bought an Arduino kit and the tutorials, and I just started reading and thinking about the way this can be done. And it was actually something I thought about it for maybe 6 months. I wanted an RC that looks and moves like a real car, and I was just maybe it can be done with an accelerometer, and then a way to control the suspension, but I have no idea about servos, RC cars, chassis, all that stuff. So I just wanted to see if it's gonna work. And I got a very simple flying fish chassis and started experimenting with that.
Okay.
And the first time it worked, I was like, oh wow, that's actually gonna work. And I spent surprisingly, yeah. And I spent about like a year of very intensively working on this. I was very, very, very into finishing the project. And then I made this, you've probably seen the white Oldsmobile, the drift car.
Okay.
And I posted that to Reddit, and it kind of blew up. And some person that left a comment like, why don't you sell that? And I'm like, wow, this could be a product. Because by then I was done. I was so burnt out from this. I wanted to be gone. Because it takes out the fun of something if you do it for a year nonstop. And I just wanted to rest. But then this new idea of making this a product came in. And then it only took me a month to make it a product and be able to sell it, which is what I'm most proud of.
Yeah. So tell me more about that. I was talking with my friends JP and Chad, and Chad's brought a product to market through YouTube, and JP's working on some gimbal mounts. And so, for that month that you went from something working in your hands to, I guess what I saw, right? I bought this from you online. I mean, what was that process like, and what avenues did you explore to begin selling?
Well, first off, my first prototype was very, very, very crude. It was a developing board with an Arduino, lots of wires, and lots of connectors. It was terrible. But then I thought I could go to a complete design with the Arduino processor, the 80 mega, or I could just solder Arduinos that are already a functioning unit and solder them onto a board And this would be much easier for me because I don't have much engineering experience to make a proprietary board. Like this would be the perfect way to do it, but then I need to know I'll be able to sell thousands, and I don't. I just want to try. So I think I hired a person to design the PCB board, send the designs to gyros PCB probably. Or actually, I think the first one I had made here in Sofia, Bulgaria. Yeah, I made the first one made here, and I started soldering. Like I figured out ways to include all the dials and the two buttons, and especially the JST plug. That was a great idea for me to kind of envision what would be possible in future because when I started selling, only the drift firmware existed. I hadn't developed the crawler or the lowrider. Those are the ideas that I had in future relative to then. And it was great that I was able to not change the hardware and still make new firmwares. And yeah, I had the PCBs done. I started soldering myself, had all the parts, components, mostly all from China, some from here. And I 3D printed the boxes. I put them in. And then I had my father cut the lids, the caps on a laser. Now I have a laser myself, but at first he was helping me cut the tops. And then I had to figure out boxes and customer support. It's not easy, but if it's a month, it's not that hard. So basically, 3D printing, someone to make the PCBs, and soldering. That's it. And actually, that was the COVID year. I think it was 2020, and I was just like ready to start sending out packages, and then all the postal services were closing down. It was very hard back then, yeah. And at some point, I completely switched to only DHL shipping because it's so much easier for everyone.
Right on.
Yeah, and I had so many packages take months to deliver, and I don't want people to wait. It's a lot of customer support. It's stressful. So at some point, I decided I'm only gonna do it if I can only use DHL.
And so your store is live, and you're still shipping products right now.
Yeah, I am. I shipped 3 today.
Great.
And I haven't done any PR work, any media in maybe a year or more.
Yeah.
I just have so many different things that I do. And it's not just this thing. I have my main job, a different job. I have hobbies, and it's just so much. And it takes a lot of work to make videos, photos, post on social media. And it does help when I do it. It picks up on the orders, but then I have to make the orders. So it's kind of working by itself right now, like word of mouth. Somebody buys it, and their friends, and I'm okay with it right now. At some point, I was like expecting a big company to kind of call me, and maybe I have something going on, but I don't know. But for a while, that was like the end game because it would be so much easier if this could be helped by a bigger company and implemented into a RTR product. If it's manufactured at scale, because it's not a big production right now. That's why I'm not moving to proprietary boards, to injection molding, and so on. And I know it's not an easy product to install the system because you have all the brackets, you have to 3D print them, and then the setup is very different for each vehicle. And if it's already set up, it's going to be so much easier for people. But at the same time, it has many modes, like all the different firmwares. You can use it in a crawler, in a drift, in a lowrider, in the small 1/24 scale. Yeah, I haven't still finished mine. It's been months.
Like we go racing every other week with the local club.
Yeah, and I think it works best on the crawlers, like the SCX24. I have one started, I haven't finished it because I'm lazy and I have so many things going on.
Yeah, my workshop is very dirty right now.
Yeah, this guy goes. I don't want to show you mine. It's a mess. It's a big style.
Can I show you my build?
Yeah, sure.
We'll do some video of it, but here's the main thing.
Okay.
And let me get the camera adjusted here.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe let me just clear a little bit of space on the desk.
Okay. So I got the 25 kilo servos.
Yeah. And then this component on the top is removable. This is the camera unit. This is the video
Mm-hmm.
transmitter. And then, of course, the gimbal and the
Mm-hmm.
camera setup. It's an HEQ gimbal. And then
And that's it, and the camera streams to what? To FPV goggles?
that's right.
Okay. And you control the gimbal with the goggles? That's
Well,
how it works?
there is head tracking on the goggles. There's head tracking, but no, I just let it ride straight,
Mm-hmm.
and then you will see in the video how it looks. It
Okay.
simulates it quite well. Um, I have set up a third channel to power reset the suspension system so that
Mm-hmm.
um, if I need to reset the power system to re-level the truck, it works fine.
Can you switch it on?
Yeah, I
Do you have
can't.
a battery on it?
Problem is, um, the steering linkage broke. So
I just want to see the suspension and
yeah,
how you set it up.
now I think I need to grab my controller.
Oh, you need probably are you using the height control?
No, just the power switch.
Okay, there he goes.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Can you like make it rock or just chop the front or I just want to see the system work.
Oh, did you hear the?
And maybe there's a way to set it up better.
Come again?
Maybe there's a way to set it up better, like slow down the system more and give it some more multiplier so it works more, like gives it more motion.
Yeah, perhaps. Uh,
Because I found that people are afraid to slow it down, and it's what usually makes it more realistic. Like they're used to RCs moving very, very fast, like suspension,
hmm.
and it really likes being slowed down. And then you can dial up more of more multiplier and more motion before it starts to freak out and oscillate. And I always like when people write to me about settings, I always advise them to slow it down more.
Okay. Okay. So in this case, the S or the D, I will reduce.
Yeah, turn the S to the left, and when you turn the D to the right, it makes it oscillate or bounce for longer.
All right.
Yeah, and then you can turn up the M more.
Okay.
I should have brought like a rig here. I left
Oh, that's all
anything.
right. Well, let's check out the FPV part of
Oh
this.
yeah,
I'm going to share my screen in a second. All right. You should be able to see my screen.
I do. Yeah. Is it choppy only for me?
Come again?
Is the feed choppy only for me? Like the video is very choppy. Please
It,
probably the zoom.
it must be choppy just for you. It's going
Yeah,
through here. What I'm noticing is camera stays relatively flat and the body's rolling pretty good. I'm going through, I mean, as you can see, the terrain is not level.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm curious to see like different settings with slower and more motion.
that's my wife, her backside. Sorry.
Have you tried the different firmwares like in a drift car or something else, or it's just a crawler?
Are you asking if I've tried the other firmware?
On a drift car, like not just on a crawler.
No, no. My plan is to build the secure drift car though, and buy another copy of your system. I was thinking about using the same system, but I don't want to hassle with plugging it in and plugging it somewhere else. I'll just
Yeah,
buy another set. And so, really, it's great fun.
it's surprisingly fun. It works surprisingly well on crawlers. I was pretty like stoked and ecstatic when I ran it for the first time on a crawler because I wasn't sure it was going to work. See, the drift firmware, it tracks sideways acceleration, like on the x and the y axis,
Okay.
and the crawler tracks rotation. And there's a pretty big feedback that goes back into the accelerometer when the system makes the vehicle rock. It also picks up the rocking. So I wasn't sure it was going to be able to do it because even now it goes into oscillation pretty easily if you turn up the M. But it actually did work. It was great.
Okay.
And then I made several different like I put it on a TRX4, on a TRX6, on a SCX10. I also did a Gen 8 Red Cat, and it works on anything.
Yeah. How did you feel on the drift cars? Like the performance change, if at all? How does that feel?
It is different. It makes you drive differently. It makes you anticipate and wait for the lean, and it's much more realistic, really. At some point, I stopped drifting altogether because I like crawling more, but it is very, very different. And I was at UST in 2021, I guess, or two, and I showed it to some guys, the TRX6, and they were like, this makes you drive differently because
Mm.
you got to anticipate the roll, the sway. You cannot drive the way you drive normally. It makes you drive like a real truck because I had a huge TRX Ural truck. And this thing does really sway and roll because it's heavy by itself. But then when you have the system and you go over a bump, you gotta wait for the truck to settle, and then you can continue on and go through another obstacle.
Surprisingly stable too. The body can be like really, really leaned over on the crawler and
Mm.
still make it through. I've got some other shots in the back garden.
I've had many people ask me, can you actually use the system to stabilize the vehicle, not make it rock? And you can. If you switch the outputs, it works in reverse. So anytime you go over a bump, it's not trying to lift, it's actually trying to stabilize and pull the nose down. But I think you have to switch them in the next pattern. So front left to front to rear right and front right to rear left. And then it works in reverse.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Wow.
can try it anytime. Yeah, switch the outputs, and I think then it makes it work in reverse. I can also like make a firmware or reverse all the servos, so it works in backwards. But the effect is stabilizing. It's not making it rock. It's making it more stable. And also had people ask me, can you make it so it's always horizontal? I can make it try to compensate and always stay horizontal, but then when you're on a slope, you're always going to be very, very leaning to one side. So it's not perfect. Maybe it's not the way people hope it's going to work. Like it's not going to follow the slope. It's always going to stay horizontal to the earth. So it's not the best use case, but if you switch out the outputs on a normal crawler firmware, then it's going to try to stabilize. And of course, when you use the right height control from the radio, then you can really lower the truck when you're trying to not flip over. And this works very well to help you over steep uphills or side hills.
A lot you can do with it.
Absolutely. I'm trying to keep the radio channels, the degrees to a minimum because there's a limit there with the Arduino I'm using. Too many inputs and it start to get chatter in the servers. And it's a little noisy, it's not so smooth. That's why I just pushed out, which I haven't like announced anywhere. I pushed out a new version of the Drift firmware that has a disabled output. Because usually the firmware have this data output to the Arduino IDE, so I can monitor the settings and the outputs. But when you switch that off, it makes the way the servers work even smoother because timing and limitations on the Arduino and so
on. On a relative on the same sort of product line too, I was curious if you've know about the Storm 32 gimbal brushless gimbal controller board and that whole project.
Oh, maybe let me Google that. Maybe I've heard something about it. Storm 32.
Yeah, this was my first camera stabilization project, and it's got open source hardware, and then the motors and the motor controllers are on here as well. The firmware update software was written by a guy named Ali, who's a German computer science professor or something. It's got the same. Rather than on your board, you've got the three controls for stabilization. These are software controlled, and of course, there's three of them for the three motors. But it's the same sort of tuning techniques between the three dials in here for software as it is on your board with the screw.
Yeah, it's probably PID control, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so I must say, going through the learning curve of setting this whole thing up gave me a leg up when it came to tuning the SuperScale system.
Okay, yeah. What's weird is that I have no idea about PID control, but what I used in the software, it's essentially the same thing. You set up a filter and you control the settings of a filter. And it's not called PID or anything, but it works the same way. And your board controls brushless motors for a gimbal, right? And like a couple of months ago, I was researching ways to not use servos, but gimbal motors, because they have no noise. And that's a big thing, trying to eliminate the noise in my system. No, the audible noise.
Yeah, I got you. That's a good point.
Yeah. And is there a way to maybe use gimbal motors to hold the whole vehicle? Are they that strong or not?
Yeah, I think strong enough. Maybe not. Honestly, they're pretty big. I mean, these guys are inexpensive. 140 kV. 5 or 7, maybe 12 volts actually going through. So,
do you think they'll be able to hold like, I don't know, 10 kilos? The way the servos are rated, like 10 kilos per centimeter or 25.
We need to test it. I'm sure that we can pull specs on the motors to know. Seems really like a neat option. It seems unlikely. I mean, a lot of gearing in the servos, and yeah, something to test.
Yeah, we gotta test that because it would be such an upgrade to be able to use these motors and have no sound, and it's gonna be completely realistic and perfect.
Yeah. I do have the motor sound, the speaker on the TRX4 here.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Really nice. I mean, silly but nice. And
I also, yeah.
what I'm missing is the audible connection for the transmitting sound from the vehicle to my ears when I'm driving on with the goggles. The
Okay. Yeah. Right.
video transmitter doesn't come with audio signal.
You know what I had? I was back when I was making these the 24 scale vehicles. Maybe you've seen the videos. I had several. I was using like die-cast bodies or resin bodies. I had made, I think it was maybe a second receiver that was receiving the throttle signal from my radio.
Mm.
And that was hooked to a sound system. And I had that with me, not in the car. So I could hear the sound of the car next to me, but the car could be somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neat. Very neat.
So you could have that. You could have a second receiver getting the throttle signal, and then you can do anything with it and have it hooked up to a sound system.
This is the part that broke.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah, I'm going to just reprint it at a higher density.
Oh, it's gotta be full density. Yeah.
I gave it to a guy helping me out, and he didn't know what to do, and I, of course, broke it.
Yeah, that's why I had it so beefed up. I had previous versions that were thinner, and they would always break.
So, tell me about you've also got an Oldsmobile body is it for the Secura drift car on your website?
Let me show you the body that I here.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so this is the prototype. This, oh shit, it's dusty. It's big.
Nice.
Okay, so this is not a secure chassis. This is the prototype, which I'll show you without breaking it. Had the parts of a flying fish, like the front and rear suspension,
Yeah.
and lots of 3D printed parts because I was also trying to make it drift, and it wasn't because it was a 4x4 car. So very unnecessarily had to also convert a 4x4 drift car to a rear-wheel drive, and it was so much trouble. I also had some pulleys printed here and 3D printed belt.
Uh-huh.
It was
Wow.
too much work. It was too much work. And
Yeah.
then it's a laser cut aluminum chassis, which I made all the holes in it because it was so heavy.
Yeah.
So this didn't work very well. Like the flying fish parts are not very good. All the 3D printed design was not very good. All the wheels are 3D printed. Like this is TPU here, but this is again also TPU, the ring, but it's a harder TPU. So you can drift on this, and it's gonna last a long time. And then I have again a PLA wheel inside. So lots of work on this, but again it gave me all the insight and knowledge to make the black Oldsmobile, which was on a secure chassis, the one on the website, I guess, or the YouTube, the channel.
Yeah.
And this one worked great. Yeah, the black one worked great. And that was for a customer. It was custom built. And it's in the USA, by the way.
All right.
It's in Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, right on. I'm in Oregon, which is about if you got in the car for 12 hours, you could be in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, you can meet the guy there. He's a pretty cool guy. So yeah, this is non-functional anymore.
Yeah.
But one is in Lake Tahoe.
Well, I'd like to get the Oldsmobile body printed out when I get the SuperScale system on the secure chassis. Sounds like that would work. Hopefully that the prints will still work on the D6 now that it's a couple years newer.
Well, I'm sure the body will work, but as you saw, you need a different bottom plate because this is 10 centimeters longer than a normal drift car, because they all seem to be a little wider than normal cars. Like the 1-to-1 scale is a little narrower than the drift cars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why most of them have what they call fender.
Wide body kit.
Yeah, the wide body kits. Yeah.
That's all right. I'd rather have something unique and awesome than something competitive.
That's exactly what I had in mind, and it was very fun driving the black Oldsmobile. It was felt very very heavy, very very long, very unwieldy. I wasn't able to keep up with the rest of the guys there, but it was very very fun with all the lean and the way it rocks in the corners.
Mm.
It was very very realistic and cool. And I'm looking to the D6, and it's kind of like D5, right?
Mm-hmm. Only small changes year over year.
Yeah, it's probably gonna work. Front suspension is fine. Maybe the main issues would be with the rear suspension because there's the motor also there and the gearbox. Yeah, it will need like a custom design for the way to mount the rear servos, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, right, the 3D the models are on the website for the Oldsmobile. I sell those. I also put up the picture, the
Oh,
TRX 6 files there.
okay.
But it is a lot of work to print it and assemble and sand, paint. It takes about a month for the
Yeah.
body alone. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I'm fine with it. I don't print though. I'll have to ask a neighbor friend or somebody else to do the printing.
Mm. Yeah, that's a lot of time too. It's like maybe 200 hours of printing
Oh
for the
boy.
body. Yeah, it's a lot. It's
Oh
a
boy.
big one and many parts. And people often ask me, do you sell ready-to-run models? And I did run like a line of 10, and I occasionally sell some of my models, but it's not a thing I do for regularly. Like it's a lot of work. And if you wanna be competitive price-wise, you gotta be competitive to China, and I just cannot. Like my time is very expensive, and it just doesn't work for me.
For sure. For sure. And I imagine there's plastic printing services that you can engage that can be engaged custom or even just people off of Facebook that have a printer that would want to make some money.
What do you mean? I mean, I do some printing. I actually do have some printed parts here that I can sell to people, but I don't advertise it because I'm not ready to run that business.
Right.
I'm not ready for that.
Right.
I don't want to be a print shop for real. I don't
Mhm.
want to be a print shop.
Yeah, it's fun to invest time in actually playing with the hobbies and connecting with people, not just working.
And yeah, and developing like new models, new firmwares, new ways to
Mm.
use it. I've had a new idea to make Lego compatible servo cases and the box for the system and firmwares so you can use it on a Lego model, right?
Wow,
And
that'd be
then
fun.
design it. Yeah, it'd be very, very fun to design the way you want it to look and make it move like a super scale.
Mm.
And I guess when it comes to 3D printed parts or parts in general, injection molding is the way to go, but then you got to invest into molds for thousands of
Yeah,
prints
there's
and
some barriers to entry with getting into plastic injection molding.
absolutely. And I have like it's 20 parts for the different like for T-Rex, for an SCX. In total, it's about 20 parts, I think. And to have a mold for each one, it's way too much
Yeah,
investment.
the tooling is a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Are you working with any, like thinking of any partnerships with other people online doing products or in the RC market or
I'm not doing any partnerships at the moment. I've done some stuff. I've talked to Jeffries about the wall riders. We talked about the ways to implement it and big companies, that sort of stuff.
hmm.
I met a guy, he was doing thin sheet metal bodies.
Oh,
He wanted to make the sheet metal body for the Oldsmobile.
Hmm.
but I just like didn't follow up. There was too much stuff. I had to send them all the prints, and he would make the body. I just
Mm.
didn't follow up. But it
Yeah.
started because most of the people were in the States.
Mm.
So if there's shipping of stuff involved, it's kind of expensive to ship stuff back and forth.
Are you in Croatia?
No, I'm in Bulgaria.
Oh, okay.
I was,
Okay.
I was, I was gonna ask you about your name,
Oh,
like
yeah.
your surname.
It's my great grandparents came from Zagreb and Dubrovnik.
Okay, I came back from Zagreb the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
How was that? How's
yeah,
the
I went
city?
to. Oh, I love Zagreb. I went to Zagreb for a music festival, and then we went to an island for a vacation. Like, yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
absolutely
hard to
love
get there from
Croatia.
here.
It is, yeah.
I'll get there someday. I've been to Athens.
And I drove 84 Chevy Caprice there. I
Okay.
mean, I drove it there and back.
Uh-huh. Big car.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that something special? Not too many around or what?
No, it's kind of I'm the only guy doing that here,
Yeah.
driving a Caprice to Croatia.
How did you get it? What is this car?
Oh, it's I got it in Germany. I've always wanted an American, like a big boat.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it like 2, 3 years ago, and I've been working on it since.
Right on.
Yeah, keeping it afloat.
Uh-huh. No kidding.
Yeah, I love it.
How many liters is the tank? Must cost
Oh, it's 80, but if you fill it to the top, it's 90.
yeah.
And then you can go about 700 kilometers, not all
Right.
the way to Zagreb.
Okay.
And I just fixed the AC and it died again. Yeah. Yeah, it was 35 in Zagreb, so that was pretty bad.
Yeah. Definitely on the bucket list.
Oh, you gotta go. I mean, have you been to Croatia in general?
And Dubrovnik on the coast sounds really nice.
Well, I would skip that. I was there
Okay.
last year,
All right.
and there were so many people there.
Mm.
Okay, I had to leave. But lots of very amazing places in Croatia, like all the islands and the little towns and the bigger towns on the islands. I would suggest going there. I said,
Well, I suppose I should say goodbye to you for now. Get back to my
okay.
family. Today's a holiday here in the US.
Oh yeah, is it the fort? Oh, it is the fort. Well,
Yeah.
happy holiday.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you
Have
so
you
much
been
for
good?
spending time with us and
Oh,
sharing all
my
about your
pleasure.
projects.
Well, my pleasure, absolutely. Yeah.
And a real
Thank you
treat
for
to.
having me, and
Okay, well, we'll
hopefully,
see you online and be in touch with different releases that you make or however I can help. I mean, and I'll give you my money pretty soon when I get more courage to start a drift project.
yeah, on the D6.
Mm, right.
Okay, okay, yeah. Well, thank you for your money.
It's really a pleasure to meet her. I'll say goodbye for now.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you.